What's up, guys? It's Bart Hanson for CrushLivePoker.com, and I am going to review another live stream hand that I recently played, this time at Stones Live Poker. If you're not familiar with Stones Live Poker, it's up actually at the Stones Gambling Hall in the Sacramento area. Really nice place. Restaurant and sort of sports bar in the front and poker room in the back. One of the nicest sort of poker room casinos that I've ever been to, and they do their stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays over on YouTube and on Twitch. And in this particular night, which is a Wednesday, which has recently been sort of their big game, which is a 5-5-10 no limit game, I got into an interesting hand here in a sort of an unorthodox 4-bet pot. Now, one of the things is that seat 1 was gone from the game, so seat 9 is me. So we're playing 5-5-10, and we have this situation where seat 8, Nat, opens for a raise to 30 from the hijack. Now, I'm in the effective cutoff, and I have Queen 10 offsuit. Queen 10 offsuit's not generally a hand that you're going to be doing a lot of 3-betting, but it is 2 Broadway cards, and sometimes I try to get a little bit out of line on a live stream so I can get invited back. And I would actually like to 3-bet this hand so that I can gain the button and get it heads up. I think that that is a much, much better situation than calling and possibly having the button call behind and then obviously being sort of stuck in the middle. So it goes from 30 to 115. I make it just under 4x, and then something sort of strange happens. The original raiser, Nat, from seat 8, sort of min 4-bets to $215. Now, the actual minimum 4-bet would have been $85 more because I went from 30 to 115. So he actually could have made it 200, but here he makes it $215. Now, generally, Queen 10 offsuit is not a hand that you're going to defend to a 4-bet. But when somebody uses such small sizing, you are going to get priced in. We're also playing $3,000 or so effective, a little bit more than what the graphic has shown. So, I mean, when it gets back around to me, the pot is going to be over, say, $340, $350, 100 for me to call in position, getting 3.5 to 1. I haven't really seen this before in quite some time, sort of a min 4-bet. If it's just sort of a standard 4-bet, even a 2.5 to 3x, I certainly would have folded Queen 10 off. So I decide to call, and we see a flop. So the board comes out Queen of clubs, Jack of clubs, 8 of diamonds. This, of course, gives me top pair, and I also have a gut shot, 2 and 9. I also have the 10 of clubs in my hand. And sort of to go along with this kind of strange hand, the pre-flop sort of min 4-better from out of position now quickly checks the flop. Now, I thought that this was pretty close. I didn't want to bet and then obviously face a huge raise and get, basically be forced to fold off my equity with a gut shot and top pair. It's debatable whether or not somebody might take this line with aces and kings. It's probably not the best idea to 4-bet and then check raise a queen or a jack high board with aces and kings. But like I said from the whole start, this hand's odd because the ranges really aren't what they should be because of the small pre-flop 4-bet sizing. I mean, I'm basically continuing with 100% of whatever I 3-bet with. There is no 3-bet fold range when he basically min 4-bets me. So, yeah, I could get value from a hand like, ace king, something like that, which is obviously possible. It's less likely that he has 10s because I have a 10 in my hand. But I also, like I said, didn't want to really get raised off of my hand. So when he checked, I just decided to sort of quickly check back and then kind of see what happens. And if some favorable cards come out, I can start basically value betting at that point. So the turn comes out the 5 of spades, and my opponent checks again quickly. And now at this point, I was like, all right, well, I think I've got the best hand here a ton. I mean, occasionally you see a guy sandbag like a set and maybe check it twice. But a lot of times when I check back, I'm not necessarily going to bet on the turn. So now I thought I had a pretty clear value bet. I mean, with the pot being about $460, I decided to bet about half the size of the pot, 225. I thought that that was going to get called by, a hand like Ace King, maybe like Ace 10, maybe Ace Jack. All those hands I'm ahead of. And when I make the bet like that, and then if he were to call, which he did call, and he called pretty quickly, then I can sort of evaluate what kind of rivers, that I might want to value bet at that point as well. So the river rolls off the 3 of diamonds, and he checks again. So again, totally non-standard hand. We're dealing with a pot of about $910, and I have top pair, which is Queen 10, but it is a 4-bet pot, and the question becomes, well, what am I going to get called by if I bet once again? Now, I like to bet very, very thin a lot in live poker. I think it's one of the best ways to increase your win rate in live poker. People don't really check raise the river as much as they do online. And, this game isn't super high stakes. It's 5-5-10, so it's relatively high stakes, but it would just be a bizarre line to expect our opponent to min 4-bet us from out of position, check flop, check call turn, and then go for a check raise on the river. I just don't think it's going to happen that much. I thought that his most likely hand was Ace King, and, I was going to try to bet an amount that he would call. Again, there's a possibility he could also have Ace Jack. There's also a possibility he might have a hand like 10s, possibly 9s, something like that, some sort of inferior hand. What I didn't think was really all that possible, though, was that he had aces, pocket kings, ace queen, and take a line like this, especially after it went check on the flop. So when you look at this hand, it's like, wow, you're going to value bet Queen 10 in a 4-bet pot on the river on a board of Queen Jack 8 5 3. But when you put everything together, the river really does become a value bet. You have to put every sort of street together, pre-flop, flop, and turn. The min 4-bet pre-flop, the check on the flop, and now the check call on the turn, that is certainly not going to me, be indicative of aces, kings, or ace queen. And what it told me was I really did feel like I had the best hand. The question then becomes, well, just because you have the best hand doesn't necessarily give you a green light to value bet, because when you bet, you have to get called by a worse hand more than 50% of the time for that bet to be profitable, because I can bet and he can just fold. But when I'm called, I have to be good more than 50% of the time. Otherwise, I am value owning myself. In this particular case, I thought that it was really close, but I ended up going for it anyways.
What is he getting value out of?
Well, right. Now, but okay, let's say, forgetting Bart's hand for a minute, if Nat takes this line, 4-bet pre, open check flop, open check turn, and then call when bet at, and lead river, what plays that way?
So he's looking to get what four bets here that he's getting called with on the river when he bets 400. I know Bart has the answer for the ace king, maybe. I mean, is like a hero call with the ace king, but what would 4-bet that calls here? Ace jack here 4-betting, right? I mean, no.
Is ace jack suited, but how is that hand called?
But jack 10 maybe, like mixing in a 4-bet here.
Wouldn't Jack?
He got the call. God, the 5 deuce. The what? 5 deuce is what he's value betting for.
What?
The 5 deuce.
Does he just think Bart is ace king?
Wow.
That is insane.
I would love to hear Bart's breakdown of that hand.
So again, check out Stone's Live Poker every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Pacific time over on their Twitch channel, Stone's Live Poker, and on their YouTube channel. They do a lot of different games from Hold'em as well. You'll see PLO, you'll see Limit, High-Low, sometimes you'll see some tournaments. Stone's Gambling Hall up in Sacramento really is a great place to play poker, and I certainly will be playing there more in the future, and you can catch me on some more live streams coming up. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And of course, you can check out training videos like this over at crushlivepoker.com.